This is what I'm going to say to Sarah Garvey. Now, I like this. I like this gentleman right here. I think he has interesting commentary and all this other stuff. Yeah, he interviews people on the street. He talks about his beliefs, whatever. He recently did a post where he talked about this guy named Gilbert Arenas and how he said something about we were not going to lose to these Africans, and he got upset about it. And he said something about there's a lot of black Americans that think this way. They have this elitist attitude towards Africans. And I told him, I said, I don't know what you're talking because first of all, I didn't even know who Gilbert Arenas was. You know, I keep saying this all the time. We're not all the same. I don't watch NBA. I've never liked basketball. I've played basketball when I was a kid. I don't like watching it. I think it's absolutely boring, right? So when he mentioned a name I didn't know, and he said to me, you know, there's a lot of people with these attitudes, and I said, I don't, because I'm paying attention to America's issues, what's going on in America, because I live in America, what's going on in my state, and I do pay attention to global issues from time to time, right? As far as I understand this story was a African immigrant young male. He's a teenager. He went into some school and for whatever reason he stabbed up a couple of white teenagers. I don't know the full story. Nobody knows the full story. The media, the UK media, said it was some kid from Wales, some Welsh kid. They totally hid his identity as being a black African, a dark skinned African kid. Then when the real story came out, they did show his picture, but they showed some baby picture. This is not what he really looked like. So I guess white people are having the white people in UK are having a problem with some of these African immigrants that are carrying knives and deleting white people. I guess this is I don't know. I'm not from there. I do not keep up with UK news. And this was the reason for the riot. And a black man or a couple of black men got beat up by a couple of white guys. They got beat down. Okay. So Sarah Garvey is making a video talking about we were asked to come here. It doesn't matter. I've heard about the Windrush generation, these Jamaicans that came to Great Britain because they were asked to come there to work and stuff. It doesn't matter. A lot of these racist groups all across Europe, they've been preaching this for decades. Model African, model Caribbean. They've been preaching this for decades. They want you to go back home. They've been saying this for the longest time. They will thank you for making Great Britain what it is, whatever your accomplishments were and are, and then they will politely ask you all to go back to Jamaica. How do I know this? I've been following white supremacist groups online for a long time. See, and this is what guys like him, instead of you worrying about what some of these black multimillionaires are saying and doing. See, a lot of these Africans and a lot of these Caribbeans, they have this black American derangement syndrome. It's the truth. It's the truth. They talk about us all the time. I'm not saying they all do, but the ones that do it, they drum up all these imaginary grievances. Oh, y'all don't like us. Y'all are always talking bad about you. I'm here to tell you, your average black American doesn't hate you. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I have Caribbean friends. I have African friends. It is not that fucking serious. I'm worried about what's going on here in America. Wherever you live, you need to worry about what's going on where you live because this stuff is not going away. I foresee it's going to get worse. And I foresee, just like I was telling the brother, we had the offline conversation. You have no idea what's in the minds of a lot of these white people in America and around the world when they're openly talking about violence if Kamala Harris wins. You have no idea. They're being open about it. These are serious times. And instead of concentrating, you have, closing it out, you have Caribbean channels, you have African channels, and they don't talk about anything that's happening in the Caribbean, in the Caribbean Peninsula. They don't talk about anything that's happening in Africa. They only talk about our news. And I find that weird. And you have a lot of shit going on in your neck of the world that none of you ever talk about. Why is that? You better worry about what's going on in the streets of UK. I saw the Muslims were out there carrying machetes. There was a guy who had a face mask on and he was stabbing the news van's tires. Um, these people with knives were running toward this reporter while she was live on the air. She was terrified. You got a lot of shit going on over there, but a lot of y'all want to concentrate on what black Americans are talking about. What are we doing? Come on, y'all need to really get it together.